A settlement in a Portland, Oregon court means victims of childhood sex abuse in the Catholic Church will be compensated with millions of dollars, and secret files relating to pedophile priests in the Portland Archdiocese that span half a century will be publicly disclosed. More than 200 victims will share the amount that slightly tops $50 million.
In my opinion, it never was about money, and I think that's fair to say that about the Archdiocese as well, but it was about cover-up and still embracing secrecy and living in that culture of secrecy. But to be able to get some sense of closure in that on the monetary terms speaks volumes that, hey, there was a pretty big problem here with the Portland Archdiocese.
Once again, I take this opportunity to extend a sincere apology to all our abused sisters and brothers and their families, those who were victimized in any way as a result of this scandal.
Some victims will never fully heal.
You know, as we stand here today, there's a lot of wounds that need to heal. Some will take many years, some may not heal at all. But as parishioners, we believe in the generous mercy of Jesus Christ, and we pray that this trust in His mercy will allow the healing process.
This is a day to celebrate the clients, the victims who stood up, who came forward to tell the truth. They told the truth, they were heard, they were validated.
But the road leading up to this day has been rocky at best. The Catholic Church filed bankruptcy in fear of seeing their doors close. That caused friction between the victims and other Catholic parishioners at a time when previous cases were moving forward.
By July 6th in the year 2004, we had reached settlement with 140 victims. But on that day, we filed for Chapter 11 protection in federal bankruptcy court. We did this in order to be able to continue the mission of the Church and also make an honest effort to compensate all the remaining victims.
And part of that compensation will mean additional transparency in church records.
There will be a public disclosure of relevant documents and personnel files involved in these various claims. There has been an agreement in principle among the parties. That will happen in mid-May. There are some limited redactions because of privacy interests of other folks, and because there's some non-archdiocese people mentioned in files, but there will be a very open and public disclosure of those documents.
We are especially pleased by Archbishop Velazny's decision to renounce the secrecy and protectiveness of the past and agree to the public release of a substantial portion of the personnel records of the offending priests.
I have seen steady, if gradual, changes in the way the Archdiocese has approached these cases. The Archdiocese now has in place a strong policy for preventing child abuse into the future, and I believe that its training and screening processes are much improved from years past. The Archdiocese has understood when it comes to civil claims for justice made against it as a result of the actions of its agents, that doing the right thing and doing the smart thing has been the same thing.
The judges and attorneys involved in the case say they are convinced that the interests of the citizens of Oregon were well served in the settlement, as well as the victims of child abuse in the Catholic Church, many of whom may now be able to gain an additional amount of closure. In Portland, I'm Tim King reporting for SalemNews.com.